All right. Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Um, we are here today to learn and know a little bit more what we didn't know. Hopefully, we'll all come out with something from the session today. This is the British African Business Network, and it's a not-for-profit organization established at the peak of the pandemic to promote and support African businesses, help them grow and succeed. And that's just what we're doing here today. We are here to create a platform for collaboration and partnership within our businesses. If you're a member of British African Business Network, we are here to collaborate and network and grow our businesses. So we support each other businesses, and we aim to build a strong community or a community of strong businesses that can compete at the highest level, not just in the UK, but worldwide level. So today we are doing exactly that. That's what we stand for. So if you are ready to uncover the gold mine that is sitting right inside your customer base. I like that topic because myself as an accountant, I have a customer base. So if I can extract more from this customer base, I'm all ears today and honored to listen to our presenter today, Mrs. Joy Nworie. Did I pronounce the name right?
You tried, Nworie. Yeah, that's good.
Nori. All right. I have to pronounce the N. I sometimes thought the N is silent. But anyway, Nori. All right. Joy Nori is a senior business consultant. That word senior does not come lightly. It comes with good experience. It comes with knowledge, wisdom that has been acquired over the years. So you say Z Plus Consulting. I know Zeplus Consulting, I think it's a UK-based firm, if I'm right. But
Yeah,
we'll know
that's correct.
more after or during the presentation. But when I look briefly, Zeplus Consulting, they do a lot with what we are going to be talking about today: data science, data business analytics, training. And of course, today we are going to get it from Joy Nworie herself and see what we can. So I present to you our consultant for today. You're going to take us through Joy Nworie. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, you really did well with the pronunciation. It's not your fault. Yeah, I'm Joy Nworie. Thank you.
Nworie, yeah, I got
Yeah,
it now. Nworie, yeah.
yeah. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, BABN, for this opportunity to, for us to sit today and discover and discuss customer gold mine. All of us here are business owners, so I'm hoping that at least we're gonna get one or two things here that's gonna help us in our businesses. Yeah, even if you know everything I'm gonna be saying today, but I believe that's gonna be something, that's because we learn every day. I'm believing that there's gonna be something that you're gonna walk away today and be able to implement from next week and see results and be able to come back here and tell us, you know what, I walked away from this meeting and I implemented this and this is my result. So that's actually what I'm hoping that at the end of the day, we are going to see. So without wasting much time, I'll be diving into the seminar. How many minutes do I have, please, Hassan?
You have as much time, but try to get it within an hour from
Okay,
now, which is
that's fine.
16:15, so that we
Okay,
can
that's
go,
fine.
yeah, an hour, yeah, 17:15 or so.
Okay,
All
that's
right,
fine.
go
Just want
ahead
to be
and
sure I don't
worry.
overshoot. Okay. I'm gonna be sharing my slide now. Let me know if you can see. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's changing. Yeah, we can see your slide. Good.
Okay, that's great. I'll just increase it a little bit so that you can still see it. Okay, cool. Right. Customer gold mine. How to grow revenue from the customers you already have. And as already introduced, my name is Nworie, and I work at Z Plus Consulting as a senior business consultant. And it's my pleasure to be given this opportunity to speak on this topic, which is actually my passion. And you will know why as we go ahead in this presentation. And I've got this again. If you look at this diagram I've got here, we've got acquisition and we have a retention. And, I chose this topic because last seminar, Dr. Toyin took us through the seminar and we talked about customer service, and she really dived in, into customer service, how you can serve your customers. She even gave us practical examples, how to acquire customers and what you do when you've already acquired them, follow and everything. So, and I was there in the seminar. So I thought, how do we build on this so that it's not, going to get something differently? So let's build on the last webinar we already have so that we can come through after this series and say, okay, I've learned this and this is what it's doing in my business. So, and the bit of what she talked about is customer acquisition, how to get customer and how to serve the customer you've gotten through customer service. So she mentioned briefly, if you walked into maybe an event, and what do you do and how do you go about it? So that's basically customer acquisition. So today I'm not going to be focusing on customer acquisition because we've dealt with that during our last month's seminar. So it's more of the retention and the engagement. So that's the angle I'm going to be looking at today. So, and when you hear the word customer, what comes to your mind? Remember this is interactive. So we're going to say, so when you say, oh, customer, so, what's the definition of a customer? Can anybody help us here? No, it's, oh, my
Well,
customer, my customer.
basic knowledge of a customer is the person who is bringing money specifically to your business, and it's like someone coming to bring in resources
Yeah,
into your business and into whatever it is you are doing. So it's a customer.
that's fine. Yeah, thank you so much for that that's explanation. Yes. So why I wanted the explanation of customer is when we say customer, it means the person has bought something from you. When they have not bought something from you, they are either a lead, so maybe someone who have shown interest, an inquirer, somebody who have asked questions about what are you doing, how do you do it, or you can say prospect. So there are different names you can call them at that point. And then, or a visitor, somebody maybe you have if you have a shop, somebody comes in, walks around and goes away. She's a visitor. Or maybe a prospect, an inquirer, if maybe it's a service-based business. But when it's a customer, it means there's been an exchange. She's purchased something from you. And that's why you move from the point of being a lead or a prospect to a customer. So when businesses have different set of data for their customer, you have inquirers. We have, what I mean, as in how you define your data. People who have not purchased, they've inquired, they are prospects, so that when you're doing your marketing, that's where you're pulling, that's the people you're contacting. But once they've purchased something, they move from that port to the customer port because there's been an exchange. No matter how little or how big they bought from you, that's a customer. So that's when we are talking about how do we now unlock the hidden value in your existing customer base, somebody who have already purchased from you beforehand. How can we get more from that? So that's, kind of giving us that background today. So I've put together what we're going to be learning today so that as you're walking away, you can see, what we are doing today. this is what you're going to learn. And then at the end of the day, you feel maybe something not being covered. Please feel free to ask a question and then we can explain in details. So we'll learn about strategies, proven strategies to increase customer retention, ways to increase your revenue without spending more on advertising, how to turn satisfied customers to repeat buyers, and then the hidden value of loyal customers in any economic climate. Now, so I talk about ways to increase your revenue without spending more on advertising. Of course, before, when you have a business or you have a product or whatever you're doing, if people can't see it, they can't buy from you. And the role of advertising is to actually get the word out for people to see. So that's why these days advertising is actually a business on its own. Companies that have advertising platform, they make so much from there because today is about a struggle for an eyeball. So that's why you pay so much for advertising. So we're going to look at how can you actually, so that means, when you have business, you have a budget for advertising. There's no debate about it. So how can we increase revenue without spending more on that advertising or turn to satisfy customers to repeat buyers? And if we look at the picture beside it that talks about customer engagement. So this is one key value, one key thing that needs to be in place that we need to do, to be able to achieve this. So if you look at that diagram, we have customer engagement and we are looking at all the results it can give us. So you've got the customer, you engage with them. Look, it's going to give you increased revenue, increased brand loyalty, increased purchase, increased referrals, reduced churn, and increased cross-sell. Now, if you look at all these things that you're going to get from the customers you already have. Now, if somebody has bought from you, there's likelihood that is going to buy more. So that's what we talk about, increased revenue. Or maybe you've offered a service to someone and the person is happy about it. Then there's likelihood it's going to come more. So that's increased revenue. And then also increased brand loyalty. So that means he likes your brand, he knows your brand, he keeps coming back. There might be other people offering the same service and might even give a discount or something, but because he or she has already experienced what you can offer, he keeps coming back. And then we have increased purchase, of course. That's like, of course, when you purchase, that revenue. And then increased referrals. If when somebody tells somebody else, you know what, have you used this person's product and it's very, very good, you need to try that. That's the best marketing you can actually get. And these are the things you can get from the customers you already have. If you know what to do to make them to get all this value from them. So you have increased referrals, you tell people, they tell people, they tell people, before you know it, you're just there and people are looking for you. So you're being discovered, no longer you chasing people. And that's because you found out what to do with your customer base. And we talk about reduced churn. That means when people come to you, they stay and increase cross-sell. That means you can now get more products and sell to the same people that are already there, not going to other people. So this is all the results that can happen when you tap into what you already have. See the middle, customer engagement, which is also very key in what we're going to be talking today to help you achieve all these goals. All right. So before going down, going into discussing all the steps, just a little about me. I've already talked about who I am, but say what I do, I help small, middle-sized enterprises, that's SME businesses, enhance their profitability and increase revenue through strategy, data-driven marketing, operations, and product development. And all these things are all together, kind of driven by data. And that's why I said initially that this is my passion. And I said I'm going to talk about why, because it's not just about revenue. Our focus is on profitability. There's a business I was reading about. They made 90K in a year and they are owing 140K. That's money was coming out and going in. Revenue is being made. But look at the debt. So I always focus on profitability. because a lot of business, they make money, but how much do you keep of that money? And that's why I focus on the things that you can do to get the best out of your revenue, not just on sales. Of course, you need to sell to get revenue, but to make sure that you're maximizing your potential, you're getting the best, you're being profitable. That even if you're making £100 or $100, you're getting the best profit you can get out of that, not spending the whole thing to get the revenue. And at the end of the day, money is moving through your hand, but you're not keeping anything. So that's basically one thing, why I'm passionate about this topic. Right. The real problem. So, when we talk about small scale businesses, most of us here are business owners, and we are classified as small scale businesses based on the number of employers we have. It says most times we chase new leads, but ignore current customers. We're always looking out, oh, it's happening here. Let me go there and get it. Let me go up and get it. Do you really sit down to check what is going to cost you to go to that event and, measure what you're going to get from that to be sure that it's actually worth doing? Why lost? And the problem is you're chasing this, but there's lost revenue hiding in your customer data, which can be tapped into to be able to get more revenue. So whenever you're planning something new, customer acquisition program, which is very, very good, always measure, always check, quantify what impact is it going to have on my business. If I spend this money for this, campaign, what do I hope to get from it? So very, very key. So that it's not just about, I have this budget for advertising, or I have this budget for marketing, let me throw it in and do it. Always check what impact, what value can I get from it? Even if it's not a money impact or tangible impact. What if it's about brand awareness, and also how are you, measure it and be sure that that's a good spend. Okay, right. So why does this matter? Why is customer gold mine? Why does this topic we are talking about, why does it matter? Now, I'm going to talk in percentage, and then later I'm going to break it down to real figures so that, oh, I'm just putting data here. Right. So acquiring new customers costs up to 5 to 7 times more than retaining existing ones. I'm sure you must have heard this quoted here before, quoted somewhere before, but you have not. We're going to look at it and help you understand the actual, why it's so, and what, so to give you an idea of why is that so, and what you can do. Also, existing customers are 50% more likely to try new products. When I was preparing this, what came to my mind was Dr. Toyi Salisbury K. So if maybe I've bought facials from her, and she called me and said, "Joe, you know what? That's this new one that came out. The summer is coming up. You need something to protect your skin from the sun. You need to try it." Of course, I'm more than likely to say, "Oh, wow, that's fine. Let me try it," because that's a need. That's a need. Than someone just out there, random person saying, "Oh, you know what? We have this new product. This is what it does. It does this. It does this. It does this. You want to try it?" So do you see the issue there? So it's easier for an existing customer to try what you already offer than somebody new. And then also increasing customer retention by 5% can increase profits by 25% to 95%. And then repeat customers spend 33% more than new ones. Now, that's percentage. Let's break this down in real figures so that it makes more sense to all of us. All right, so I'm going to look at each point by point. The 3 points I've explained here. So this 4 points. So I'm going to take it one after the other to explain how it actually works. So we're still looking at why this matters, because when you understand why you need to do something, then it actually makes sense to do it. If not, if somebody is telling you, "Oh, you need to look into this," if you don't see the reason why, then it's not, you might not really put in your energy or your efforts to do that. So when we say that acquiring new customers cost 5 to 7 times more than retaining existing ones, let's talk that in real money, right? So let's say it costs you £35 in ads or promos and time to win a new customer. And while I talk about this, you really need to know how much it costs you to get a new customer. Even if everything is organic, even your time, you need to be cost. So you need to really know how much it costs you to get a new customer. In that case, so that you know the product you're offering to that person, is it what you're spending to get to that person? So you need to do this review so that you can price your product appropriately or bundle it or add more value so that you can sell it something higher to cover up for the time you spend to win the customer, the money you spend, the promos and everything. So that's by the way. So you need to know how much it costs you to get a new customer. Once you already have some customers, you don't need to have thousands. Even if you have only 100 and you're still starting new, I know it might be high, but knowing this figure gives you something to work with so that as you're going on, you're telling yourself, you know what, I need to reduce this or I need to increase my offer to be able to cover for that. So that's, by the way. All right, so let's come back to what we're saying. So why retain an existing customer might only cost you £5 to £7 via a follow-up email, discount, loyalty perk. So when somebody have already bought from you, you have the person's information. It's part of your customer database. So you have the person's email or phone number or whatever way, WhatsApp or however, or maybe Instagram or however way that you actually have where you have your customers or maybe your followers, who have transformed to customers. Whatever way you hold that data, it's fine. But the main thing is that you can contact them. You have their contacts. So you can send them a follow-up email. You can give them a discount. You can come up with an offer of a loyalty scheme to say, okay, this is what we're going to be offering our customers who meet this criteria, depending on the product you're doing or what service you're offering. So you know your product, you know your business better. So come up with something that can actually, excuse me, work for that particular customer and then send them the email. And now you're not going to get everybody to respond to you. But let's say you send 100 email and 50 or let's say 20% will come back, 20 will come back to you. That's money you've got from what you already have. What it took you was to, craft an offer, write an email, send the email, and then that money comes in. Do you see? So do you see what we say when we say gold mine, getting more from what you already have? So, and I give an example here. You run a business and you spend £350 to gain 10 new customers at £35 each. If you focused on retention, which is what all those things I'm talking about today is all about, retaining the customer you have instead. You could keep 50 customers for that same £350 at £7 each. So that means instead of getting 10 new customers, you're spending £7 and you're getting 50 customers to buy from that. Is that not, as in, that's insane. That's a very, it makes sense. If I'll use the word, that's why I call it, is a gold mine, because you've got it there. It's about just taking the right actions to use it. And you know what? Those 50 customers that you actually retain are more likely to buy again and refer to others. And this is what we call the lifetime value of the customers. So it's not just the first time they bought from you, they buy again, they bring people to buy from you. So that's a very, good way to manage, to get sales, to get increased revenue and it's profitable, because this is now effortless to get the sales you're getting now. Okay, right. So the second point we discussed earlier on, existing customers are 50% more likely to try new products. And I gave the example I give with, Dr. Toyin's business, the Mary Kay business, that if I've already bought one, it's easier for her to tell me, try this one, it's going to work. And I don't even need her to talk too much, because since I've tried the first one, it's worked. I'll more likely buy it than someone new. So, and why is this so? Because there's already trust there. So, which is what you gain when you retain your customer. It's that trust. And that is a trust that makes the customers to be able to tell somebody else, I've used those people, they are good, you can try them. So this is, it's just what it is. That's just what it is. Right. So, and I've given an example here. You launch a new product on for £9 and you promote 100 existing customers and 100 new ones just to try out these things. And then from the existing customers, let's say you get 30 people coming back to buy, that's £270. If you get 15 new visitors to convert, that's converting to your customer. From a definition, when they pay you, that's when they convert. That's £135. So you've doubled the sales from existing customers with less effort. So do you see why we should really make sure that we don't, forget, we actually get the best from people who come, who trust us and already bought from us. Right. So, and the last one, why this matters, sample, the third one, a 5% increase in retention can boost profits by 25 to 95%. And retained customers buy more often, cost less to serve, and they spread the word. So let's take, for example, your monthly profits in your business is £2,000. You improve retention, which is basically engaging the customers you already have. And if which is what, if you're just joining us, we are talking about customer gold mine. And we looked at this picture here, which is customer engagement. We talked about you're going to have increased revenue, increased brand loyalty, increased purchase, increased referrals, reduce churn, and increase cross-sell. That's when you engage with your customer. And what do you want to achieve with that customer engagement? Customer retention. So to retain your customers so that you can get the best, and more out of them. So that's so that I can actually follow with what we are talking about. So, right. So when we say we improve retention, for example, you send thank you emails or a loyalty discount, or maybe you track people's birthday if you have that data, and you automate sending out, let's say 2 or 1 month to their birthdays. Why not use this discount to shop on, to shop, that's if you have a shop, to shop our business, to shop things in our store. That's actually, the person might not be thinking about you for that birthday, but with that discount, voucher, might be like, oh, you know what? I think I need this to pamper myself. Let me go and get it. Or even if it's a service that you've offered to a company, you send a thank you email, or you send, so a discount thing for maybe an add-on service they're already giving you. You're already getting from them. That's and improve that, and that's improving by doing that, and maybe 5% of that response, that's money increased. So over time you earn 25 to 95% more. So looking at this data, so assuming you've done some activities that helps retention, which is like maybe sending out an emails, follow-up emails, a loyalty discount, or information about a new product you're launching, or maybe talking about more of what you're already offering to people, because sometimes people don't think about your business every time. You need to know that. So it might just be like a husband that has accounting. It might just kind of write a blog, or write explaining an aspect of accounting that will really matter to business people, and end it up with a call to action that will say, you know what, if you want to do something else that you're offering, use the discounts to get it, or get in touch so that we can talk about it. So explaining that bit to your customer will even make them say, oh, it's true. Because they might have that problem. Sometimes people have problem, they don't even think about the problem, depending on how big it is, or they're thinking about it, they're not even thinking about you, as in they're not really, you're not the person they're thinking about as a go-to for that problem. So writing about that an email and sending to that customer base and explaining about that topic will actually get them thinking about it and help them know that, oh, you can actually help us solve this problem. and then there's a call to action there. You might, let's say you send it to 100 people and even 10 people reply. You know what it's going to mean for your business and how much it's going to get to your business. So assuming there's a monthly profit of £2,000 and you do this and then you get 25% response, over time, that's like extra £500 per month on what you're already doing without, going out of your way or to do more sales or, getting more people to buy from you. For example, and then if it goes over time and maybe you get upper range of having 95% um, um, response to what you have done, that's like, giving you extra £1,900 per month. And if you look at that in a year, £22,800 more per year. Now, this is a figure, this is a guide figure, but it's just to give you an idea of, you could have done nothing, you remain at 2,000, but you tried something, not something out of the blues, not something new, not something that needs a bit of budget for you to do. This is something that can be fitted into what you're already doing and gives you extra £500 per month with what you already have. So that's why you need to be thinking of, how can I serve the people that are already with me to get more from them? Right. And, that leads me to what I just spoke about, to get more from them. And sometimes you might think, oh, these people, they're already giving me money and I don't want to disturb them, because sometimes we can think like that, business like, yeah, I think they're already giving me. But the truth is, people buy from you not because they like your face so much. It's because your product is solving a problem they need. So if you have a bigger offer that can solve a bigger problem for them, and of course, there's a loyalty there because they trust what you've done before. Why not? Why wouldn't they buy from you? Because they already trust you. So always think about how you can serve in a bigger capacity the people you already serve, because you already got them. So look at that pain point and say, how can I serve them? Right. So what we've been discussing all this while is why you should actually do that, why you should be thinking about the customers you have, and why you should be thinking about why should you even take action. Now, we now want to discuss practical strategies, practical things you could do, which is one of the things I said you're going to learn today. Right. Identify your best customers. And how do you do that? You use the RFM model, which we call recency, frequency, monetary value. You might be using this already, that's fine. You might have heard about it. I'm like, how do I apply it? Or maybe you've never heard about it. It's also fine because we keep learning each day. So when we talk about recency, we look at when was their last purchase. And it all depends on the kind of business you do. With a service business whereby, it's something people need every 6 months, you can now call your recency by maybe 1 year to 6 months, maybe like let's say if it's a boiler that is serviced every 1 year, you see that you cannot expect somebody to service boiler more than once in a year. So that's just an example. So which depends on the service you're doing. But if it's, let's say you're selling food, people eat food every day now. So your definition of recency is going to be different. But normally on a standard, we always define recency as 0 to 6 months. People have purchased 0 to 6 months. But if it's something that is like a yearly, maybe you sell a product, the kind of service you offer, people can only buy it once a year, then your definition of frequency might be like 2 years. So, but if it's a normal standard thing we do, it's normally 0 to 6 months. And also we look at frequency. So in that 0 to 6 months, how long have they bought? Or in 1 year, how long have they bought? And it's always good to look at least maybe backwards to 2 years, depending on how long your business have been. If you've not been operating for 2 years to 5 years, it's fine. Don't say because of that, I can't work with my own. Work with what you have. When you get into the habit of looking at this, when you get more data, when you get, you grow as a business, it's easier to manage than when you get to that point, you're already big and then you've got data everywhere. It's more difficult. So make it as a habit to track and to look for this and then monitor it. How much do you spend? So with these 3 things, you can now categorize your customers, or what we call segmentation, and then some people call it buckets of customers, and why, to make it more easy for people to understand. So with this grouping, you can identify your best customers, people who have purchased from you recently, people who often buy, and then how much they spend with you. So that's the first thing you need to do for you to be able to get your customer listing. And don't assume, because when you're in business, sometimes you might think, oh, I think I know my best customers. You might know one or two often because depend on how big your business is. But it's always good to look at your data. And there are a lot of ways you can look at it. If you have a CRM tool, which is customer relationship management tools, you have all your customer information there. It can help you get this information. Also, if you're not yet at that point, there are a lot of tools. We as a company, we've developed also spreadsheet tools that you can just plug in your customer data on your own, and it can give you this calculation and help you to. It can give you that segment each people to give a classify all of them and give a dashboard to help you to see that. So these are the things you can use to help yourself. Or if you're used to Google Analytics, you can actually see that there are a lot of free versions, but just make sure you have this information, you know them, at least you know them. Now, I talked about the three buckets of customers. So looking at this is how the information you're going to use to categorize or segment your customers. And we normally segment into three buckets or segments. I call it buckets or segment, but in the ideal word is called segment, but to make sure everybody gets what I'm saying, which that's the main aim of what we're doing. Now, the first part of the customers is high value and loyal. So they come often, they spend a lot, and they are loyal to you. So when they're thinking about that product, they're thinking about you and not that person. Excuse me. So that's your best customers. Now, people have already built trust with you. And then we have at risk or sleeping. So let's say somebody have bought 2 times from someone normally buys from you 3 months, and she's bought the first 3 months, the second 6 months, about the 9 months, you've not seen him. It's getting to 1 year. That's what we call at risk or sleeping customers. And then we have one-time buyers. People, it's not just because they just stumbled onto you and just bought from you. So maybe, they needed a service urgently and you just came through, they just paid you, or they needed to buy a product, they just saw you and bought it. No commitment, no loyalty, and then they walk away. So these are the 3 different segments that you need to classify your customers into. Now, let me just go back. When you've got this, you've segmented them into recency, frequency, and then monetary value. This is going to help you to get the segments, high value and loyal, at risk or sleeping, and the one-time buyers. Now, with this information, you're not going to be asking yourself what they really want. The people that comes to you to buy from you and they spend money and they're coming back, you've built trust with them. So why do they even buy these products from you? What problem are they solving your products? And you know what? Sometimes what you think people are solving with your products are not even what they do. One of the products I sell, what I thought it was for, people were using it for something different, and it amazed me. So yeah, so you need to find out what are people really doing with the product you're selling them. Even if it's a service you're offering and you're offering one particular service, then find out how that service you're offering, what problem it's solving to the business as a whole. Like, I may not be able to talk about accounting in full because that's not my area. But of course, we all know what an accountant does for our business. But apart from just doing the normal year, filing and everything, what other problem do you think those business are having when it comes to their account? Do they even understand how to interpret those profit and loss statements? Because some people don't, they just collect it and say, thank you, do filing, continue. So could it be an issue of maybe training? Is there any way I can deliver value and helping them to understand what to look out for when they are looking? So find out what problem they're solving with your products and ask yourself, What do they love most about it? And then what could be improved? With these three information, whether it's a service-based business or product-based business, when you know the problem that's solving with your product, which I tell you, it might not even be what you think, apart from the one that are standard one, and then what they love most about, because we are all different, and what you like might not be what they like, and then what could be improved. You can just send a short survey or maybe a quick call to your customer to say, please, can you help? We can even offer, I say, please help us fill the survey for this enter to win something. You normally get that email, fill this survey and we're going to give you this, or for a chance to win something, just to get people to fill it, because you need that information to know how to, improve your business and offer more. Because sometimes it might be offering more to the people you're already serving than creating something entirely new for a different set of people. But offering more, we call it kind of going deep and getting more to solve the problem. Now, when you have this information, then the step 3. So remember step 1, you looked at, this model, group them, segment them to recency, frequency, or monetary. Then that gives you these 3 segments. Then step 2, understand what your customers want. And we say that what you can do, just send a survey, a short survey. It can just be these 3 questions. What do you like about a product? What problems are you solving with this? What do you love most about it? And what could be improved? Just simple thing, and then you don't need to make it too long so that they will not, this is going to take me so long. Get that information. And you can see a lot of things you don't know might be hidden in that can help you create more offers you can use to serve them more. And now, step 3, upsell, cross-sell, and repeat. And let me explain this. We might know what this already means, but let me just explain it. So when we talk about upsell, so when I talk about upsell is, let's say for example, I bought let me just use cup, some random thing. I bought one, I tell me, what, 1 cup costs £10, and if you buy 3, you buy it for £25. At least you have extra in case maybe if one spoils or something, you have it. That's a very good bargain. Now, and I'll just say, okay, that sounds fine, I'll buy it. So that's upsell. So selling more of what you're already selling. It could be introducing a VIP programs or tiered pricing. So in VIP programs, if you're doing a course or something, introducing, okay, for this set of people, you give them more value and for them to pay you more for what you're offering them. So this is how you can upsell what you're doing. And the aim of all these things, both upsell, cross-sell, and repeat, is to increase your average order value. Every business should be looking at how can you increase your average order value. If you see, when you walk into a shop, you buy, you will say you went to actually buy only 1 bottle of water. Before you know what is happening, you're coming out to buy banana, you buy apple, you buy this, you buy this. And £1 shopping will now turn to £20 shopping. That's increasing, you've increased your average order by those purchases. So that's what you actually want people to do when they come to you, to buy more from one person than buying £1 from a lot of people. One person, 10 people can give you £10 and you get £100. That's just an example of what I mean. So offer bundles or frequently bought together options. Give people up bundles and as a bait to get that upsell, to get people to buy more from you. And as I mentioned, VIP programs whereby can give them maybe an access to some more information or more experience that separates them, maybe an opportunity to ask questions for courses or for programs or for events that you do. And this can help you get more from, the people who have already bought from you. And also, cross-sell. So cross-sell is, let's say for example, looking at I know Rebecca has a housing business and also has a house management business and also has a cleaning business. So you see these 2 things work together. If you already have, if you're into housing and maybe you have estate, you have houses, you have Airbnb or any of these things, definitely it needs to be clean. So this is complementary services. So when you're doing this one, so find what you're doing. What are the complementary services that people who buy this normally would need this? Offer it as a way to increase your your revenue and profit from that particular person that have already come to buy from you. So that's basically what we mean by cross-sell. And apart from that, repeat customers. So people who come to buy and they come again. But that's why people these days, you now see people creating subscriptions model, because you want people to come back, and you want to be able to predict your income. You don't want to wake up every day thinking about who is going to come and buy from me. You want that kind of model, support, ongoing support, or ongoing repeat customers to be able to help you make sure that you're getting best for your business. And also use personalized emails to remind or recommend new purchase. That's why it's always good when you have your customer database, keep it warm, which is the customer engagement we are talking about, by normally sending emails from time to time. You can automate it, you can put it as part of your schedule, or have someone doing it for you if you already have staff to send up those emails. It keeps you warm in people's mind, because there are a lot of noise, there are a lot of businesses offering the same thing you're offering. So you need to be able to remind people that you are there, even if you don't have anything to offer them, something new. Remind them of your discount, remind them, can just tell them a story of how to use one of your products or how to do this, but just engage with your customers. And when we talked about upselling, cross-selling, this example I gave here, if the customer buys a phone, you offer a phone case or phone accessories, and that's how you cross-sell to different things. So that's basically the 3 steps you need to increase your customer, get more from your customers. So the step 4, build loyalty that pays. So this could be done from, having loyalty cards, early access, exclusive drops, celebrate anniversaries or milestone with discount. Now, you may not be able to do everything, but pick what you can do, focus on that and do it. Automate thank you notes. You see the banks, when it's your birthday, you get an email from them to say happy birthday. This has already been programmed, and, that shows you, oh, okay, they've got those information, and it keeps you warm in their mind. Or birthday coupons to your customer, depending on if maybe it's a product business, can give them birthday coupons to come and shop in your shop, give with discounts. That's another way to build that loyalty, because loyal customers spend 7% more than new ones. So these are all the things that's why you need to think about this. Then step 5, reactivate dormant customers. Remember when you segmented your customers, you find out the ones who are, loyal and high value, and then the recency helps you to find out people who have not bought in a long time. So those ones is a different segment, which, like dormant customers, you reactivate them. How do you do that? Maybe by sending "We Miss You" campaign with a discount, or you offer limited time reservation pass. And you can only do this when you have done the first step 1, excuse me, when you've segmented your customers and put them in different pots. That's when you know the people who you are targeting, and then you can send them those emails. You can imagine if you've not done that and you start sending "We Miss You" campaign to everybody in your database, even from somebody that bought yesterday, they'll be like, what's wrong with these people? Why would they be sending me this kind of message? So that's why we need to be very targeted with our messaging and with our our engagement. Make sure that we are actually sending the right information to the right people. Even if a 10% reactivation can boost revenue, so if you send out 100 emails and 10 people come back and buy, that's a boost to your email. And also, you can also ask for feedback to understand why they left. Some may not respond. Some that responded, that's another information to help you improve on what you're doing. Right. Mini exercise. You're not going to tell me this, but wherever you are, I want you to write down 3 customers who haven't bought from you or requested for your service in the last 3 months. Write them down, depending on what you're doing, and now list 1 offer or message you can send them today on Monday. So this is something like a quick win, something you can just do off the back of this webinar. So wherever you are, if you can, just write down 3 customers, or, depending on whatever you're selling, who haven't bought from you the last 3 or 6 months. Now, if your service is the kind of that is not like often, maybe like a 6 months intervals or this thing, you might have, you might not, there's some customer you don't need to go and look at your computer to remember all of them. Write and ask myself, what message can I send them on Monday to reactivate them? What message can I send them? Do this as a quick win, and then let us know maybe later what results you got from this quick win. So please, I will really want you to do this exercise and update us on what went on and the results of this. Right. 3 common mistakes most of business owners, small business owners do. They ignore customer history. And all these things we've been talking about, it's about the history that lies with your customer. When you're looking at customer recency, or how long they've purchased, or how money they've spent with you, all those things are history, which is what helps you to make this decision. So please, don't ignore it. I've already talked about generic messaging, whereby you send "we miss you" message to everybody in your database. And people that are biased are wondering why would I be getting this kind of information? So please note this and send message accordingly. And then no measurement of repeat sales or loyalty. So you don't even check people who come back or who are loyal. You just treat everybody as the same. That's a mistake, and you don't really want to do that. So you need to really take note of this thing and do it. And then, one thing again, with you might be like, oh, there are lots of things to do, and I just want to focus on my business and all those things. These things can be something you can track maybe once in 2 weeks or once in a month. Just put in your timetable to sit down and look at this, because this information is very, very important in the growth of your business. Don't always leave it, based on my experience with, people I've worked with, like, oh, I need to do this to get more sales. But can we look at this? No, I don't have time for it. But this is what is going to help the growth. So if we get the foundation right, then the growth is even easier to manage. So that, which is very, very key. Now, key takeaways. Your current customers are your fastest path to revenue growth. I've been talking. So I'm going to give us opportunity to ask questions. We're going to interact. But just like I've been talking. But yeah. So your current customers are your fastest path to revenue growth. And then one thing I've mentioned, and I'm mentioning again, segment, engage, and reward consistently. Don't treat all your customers as the same. Segment, put people in the place they are, and then approach them accordingly. Engage them accordingly. Send them the right message. And then use simple tools and customer data to drive smart offers and measure the results. Now, when we talk about customer data, people think until they get millions of data. No, there are simple tools. I talked about, the recency frequency model tool we developed. Just a simple spreadsheet that can help you to monitor your that has a dashboard to help you to monitor your customer data. Or if you already have a CRM that you're using, if you're at that point, use it, monitor those things, check the dashboard, check it. If it's not something you understand, then you need to get that education to make sure that you understand how to get those info, understand that. That is going to help you to drive smart offers, so that when you've taken those steps to actually understand what's their problem, you can create more offers that are more valuable, more high value offers, and offer to the same people, because you know their problem. Try if you can solve it, and you get more from the same customer. And always measure the result, so that you'll be sure that the effort you're putting is giving you the result you expect. For example, when we miss you, it has 50% off to welcome you back. So this is an example of if a message you can send to someone to reactivate the person. So these are key takeaways from this, what we are doing today. You always check your customers' history. And then quick wins you can apply today, apart from the ones we have talked about. Identify top 10 spenders, reach out to dormant customers, track repeat purchase rate monthly. I've mentioned that. block a day in your diary in a month to look at that information, the purchase rates, how are people coming back, and then the top spenders, serve them better so that you can get better from them. And then reach out to dormant customers, you reactivate them, and then find out why they're not coming back. That information can help you get better in what you're doing. And finally, thank you so much for listening and your time. And the floor is now open for questions. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. I believe before we get to questions, I know we have limited time, but uh, I just want to say, really, as a businessman myself, I've been in business for so long, but I've not been any seminar or whatever it is where I get the layout of advice and hints that I've received today that I am definitely going to implement. But anyway, I believe we
Thank
will
you.
go questions, and Joy, this is really good, and I'm
Thank you.
very happy to be here and hear this from you directly. Any questions? If you have a question, you can either unmute and ask the question at any time. Just unmute and ask if you have a question. I also have a question, but I want to give you. Yeah, Toyin, you go
Okay.
ahead.
I don't have a question. I think it's more a comment.
Okay.
I mean, you said something about a homework for us to look for customers that we haven't
Yeah.
spoken to for a while. Strangely enough, I just did that this this morning for a very old customer, and it was just like, "Hi, how are you doing? How are things with you? It's been a while. I haven't heard from you. How's your skincare doing? What's your routine like? Just give me a shout. I just love to catch up." And then she called me back to say, "Oh, I've been meaning to call you," which is they always do. I always say your
Yeah.
customers will not look for you. You have to follow them. So she then gave me some concerns, and I kind of addressed it. I said, "Oh, okay, I'm happy to try something new." So sometimes your customers will never come back to you to tell you if they have an issue. So you probably need to follow up, which is what we do. The other thing which I also found very interesting, I actually have a software that I use. So everything that you talked about, all those steps, I actually have it, including birthdays, anniversaries, and things. So that's nice to hear that, kind of refreshing, because I'm not really good at using my system. So now I'm going to be more encouraged to actually use my system as efficiently as possible to get my maximum customer base. Yeah, so that's it. Nothing else for now. Thank you so much for the training. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that
Thank you,
comment.
Toyin. Yes, I mean, Joy, I think you mentioned very poignant fact here, because specifically as accountants, we have the tendency to be laid back with our existing customers, knowing that they will come year on year. So, but I've got quite a lot of things. I like the way you buttress each point and the way you lay them out with those examples. It's like a basic level understanding of the kind of profit that you can gain by trying to maintain your existing customers and forget about your existing customers while chasing new customers. So it is really enlightening to see the way you laid out those examples. It's
Thank
really
you.
good. It shows you are a real data statistician or mathematician. I don't know. In terms of those thank you emails, I know I've not been good with that. There was a time myself I kind of got complacent. I feel like I'll employ someone to do that. And then the problem is I then lost touch with my own customers, because it's me, my customers want to know as the accountant. But when I employ someone to do these things, some of these things we should not just outsource them 100% to an employee to do for you. It's good when you maintain that connection and do some of these things yourself. Put yourself in. I learned a bitter lesson with that, by just not assuming that my role is to bring in the customers, get my employees to maintain those customers, and then I kind of lost that connection with them. But what you've said here today, it's really good. It's key takeaways, the common mistakes that we all do, sending those generic messages. It's good enlightenment we have received here today. Kemi, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, before Kemi comment, just to say something for what you just said, about getting someone to do it for you. Because the truth of the matter is that you may not be able to do everything in your business. That's just the truth. But the main thing is that when you get someone supervise, there's some emails you get, and then you see the signature and it says the customer manager or the head of this. They're not the one that sent that message, no. But they've signed that information or the letter and then gave to the person that sent it to you. So the executor can be different, but let them know it's coming from you, because you definitely can't do everything in your business. If not, that's where the overwhelm comes in. So yes, you can delegate, but supervise, make sure you know what they're doing. And then depending on the level of the person you've employed. But yeah, so that's what I'm just going to say. You can do a letter that you've signed by yourself, or you can, if it's email, if it's an email platform, you can still have your own signature, and then someone is sending it out on behalf of you, so that you don't get that overwhelmed. So yeah, that's just what I want to chip up. Thank you for that comment.
Good. Kemi, okay, after Kemi, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you, Al-Hassan. I totally forgot and jumped in when oh my God, I've missed it. And just the last 5 minutes, I think, is what I joined. I was scribbling so fast. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Joy. It's amazing when you don't pay something attention, you don't know that there is a gold mine in it. There was one thing you said I want to repeat. Yeah. In all you said, I always relate it, obviously, anything I listen to what I teach, which is how to think. And I wrote down how to think about, and I wanted to look at different aspects of business. And I just wrote your customers. And then this thought came to me, when you sell to them, you are serving them at the highest level. We think when we don't contact our past clients or new ones, just like Al Hassan says, somebody new will come in. But it dawned on me that you have something that people will benefit from. So actually putting it in front of them, you are helping them. So thinking, don't let me reach out. Oh, they won't buy. That's thinking about your customers. So thank you so much, Joy. I really appreciate this.
True.
Thank you.
All right, Efuru.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, hopefully I've been thrown out at least 5 or 10 times. I keep going in and out. Yeah, that's the network here. So thank you so much, Joy. It's just been very informative, very insightful. And like you rightly said when you first started, you said this is actually a continuation of what Dr. Toyin MK shared last month. And it's so true, because it's flowing from that webinar and then capturing another angle. So it's, just flowing, and we're gaining so much, so enrichment. So I'm just so grateful. And like Kemi said, there's so much, but there is so much out there that we don't even remember. Our minds don't even think of those things. And then somebody throws it at you and you say, oh my God, how did I not know this? You see? But when we hear, customer service, it appears, very common. It's very easy. Who doesn't know about customer service? Who doesn't know that you have to do X, Y, and Z to maximize your customer base, to get the best out of your customers, etc. But we are really not paying attention to the things that matter until somebody then points at those things to us. So that's exactly what you've done again today. Toyin did last month. So thank you so much. What I wanted to talk about, and I talked about this also at Toyin's webinar, the feedback. We traditionally or historically do not like feedback. I don't know whether that it's that we don't like feedback or we can't be bothered work and live and do our business. These people pursue you for feedback. So a service has been rendered, whether it's a product or a service-based business, people want to know how they have fared in offering that service. And they pursue, tell us how we performed so that we can improve the service. But in our environment, in our community, it's very, very rare. People just don't care. So it's a one-off. They get this customer, they've got their money, they forget everything about this customer. They're not thinking of how to improve that service. So my question is, how do we really get our community to begin to think about feedback from customers as a tool for growing our business? Because like you said, it's the existing customers that we really need to work on. These are the people who have gained our trust, people who are more likely to buy again, people who are the ones, bringing in that resource and the money into the business. So how do we make sure that we develop a proper feedback system that would enable these customers to tell us about the service that we've provided that would enhance our own business delivery or service delivery? Thank you. I don't know whether I made any sense.
Yes, you did. Well, the first thing is, like we've talked about it today, it's that awareness, because, one thing you said is that, we just do it and we forget it and we move on. We are looking for the next person. It's just because we don't really know the value of the feedback. Let me put it that way. I'm sure that if you know do something, if you know the value of something, you want to do that. So I think there's an education part also here, whereby probably, educate on the need of why you need the feedback. And also another thing again is how you respond to the feedback. Sometimes we it's also a mindset thing. Sometimes I think feedback is just going to put you down. Or let me put it this way: you've done something, you put in all your best, and you're thinking this should be the best. I don't want anybody to tell me that it's not the best. That mindset or that mentality is not good. So it's having that open-minded and looking at feedback as an opportunity for growth, which it's something, it's an education thing to actually speak to our community. By the time you said it, for me, I'm already thinking this is already another webinar topic. The way you put it, I said this is already another webinar topic that's for our community to say the importance of feedback and how you can mine. People develop new products from feedback. People increase their offers by feedback. People, increase things from feedback, because you cannot think like everybody. So it's just that value, that education part to see, wait, think back, step a little bit and think about what it will mean. And don't take it as an attack, but take it as an opportunity to grow. So this can actually help. Tony, I think you want to say something.
Yes, I was just going to mention about the mindset about the feedback.
You're welcome.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. It's just quite interesting about the mindset about feedback. I do sometimes ask for feedback, and it's so amazing how people can't really be bothered. I don't know. It's a mindset thing. They're thinking, oh, you're already good anyway. Why do I need to do feedback? I'm like, I still need the feedback, even though you think what you're thinking. And it's almost the same thing as our attitude to surveys as well. I think the mindset is that the concept of understanding that it will actually help us grow. I think that's where the disconnect is. They don't realize helping your business grow that feedback will actually help you with that. So like you said, it's just educating. And there's some, even if you educate them to thy kingdom come, they're going to be stuck in their ways. But we just need to keep on educating. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, to buttress on that, I think we have the problem of asking ourselves for the feedback, and then the customers or the kind of customers we have, which have the same nature as we, also find it hard to give us the feedback. Is that what you're saying? Hello?
I
All
do
right.
give feedbacks if I'm requested for feedback, but sometimes when I request for feedback, it's you kind of almost spend almost your whole life trying to chase them for a feedback. So I think also timing of when you request for feedback is important. The
Okay.
earlier you ask for the feedback, the better, because it's still fresh in their mind and they probably will respond straight away. But if you give it a little bit of time, it's almost as if the novelty has worn off and them having to think according to them to give a feedback is like, oh, I don't have time, I'll do it later. So I think timing for requests for feedback is also important.
It's important.
Like we have a kind of a 2+2 in my business where 2 days after somebody purchases something from you, you follow up straight away. And sometimes my customers find it very strange. They're like, oh, why are you calling me now? I say, it's what we do, it's what we offer. So it's just getting them aware. But the sooner you do it, the better, because that's when you get the most, the forefront feedback, the real unconscious or conscious feedback. Usually the closer to the time when you actually offered the service or the product.
All
And
right,
then
it's
follow up
true. It's true.
because like you own this product. Somebody might buy it from me in the next 2 days, he or she have not used it. And it's like, oh, I've not used it, so I can't say anything. So follow up as well.
We do get feedbacks all the time, especially from the big businesses. They make sure to send you a feedback
Yeah.
as soon as you've made the purchase. You see it on your email, and then obviously, not all the time is one able to give the feedback. All right. Any more question? I think we have someone else here, Peter. All right.
I think he's gone
No
now.
question, Peter. All right. Okay.
He's gone now.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here. I'm
Oh,
here.
okay.
I'm
All right.
here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Peter, yeah, I was just saying, maybe, yeah, if you have a question you want to.
No questions per se, but I just want to say that the webinar was great, and of course, like Efru said, a continuation of the last one we had last month. But what I just want to emphasize, which is what I emphasize, which is what they know me for, I always say in the business of customer service, let's always look at customer service a as an attitude and not a department. You know, you go to some people say, yeah, department of so okay, I'm in customer service
True.
department, I'm not customer service. But when you look at customer service as an attitude, then everything we have been taught today, you take it to logical conclusion. So, and the aspect of feedback is extremely very good because I, for one, I always see complaints as gifts. I see complaints as gifts. If so people are sending you feedback or whatever, see it as a gift to be able to go for that because it is been said that the bird's eye view from the top of the tree is different from the rabbit's eye view from the bottom of the tree. So yes, it's a very, very good one. Let's as much as possible. Then um communicating with people and appreciating them. Yes, we know that as your business go very, very big, you might not be the one doing it, but it's always also good for at least I know that most of us are SMEs anyway. You know, we might not have that million and one customer activity, but that your own personal touch as it is also is also very, very good. Then the use of AI can also help us to be able to, turn out those messages, so many coming out at a particular point in time, but you still maintaining that touch as you are the person that's actually doing it. So thank you very much. It was a very, very fantastic webinar and I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you too.
And also thank you for injecting the AI word into this
Yeah.
meeting. All right then. I mean, I don't know what to say. Well, we need to all here today start with giving a feedback to the rest of the BABN members. Let them see what they've missed today. So I will urge you all when after this meeting to please give a feedback and on the general platform and thanking, first of all, Joy Nworie for such a wonderful delivery. It's like when you have your best teacher, giving you a lecture, you will love to listen. The cool and calm voice that she has, not like me, I kind of talk with a higher pitch, but she delivered it soundly and with very good examples. So let's make sure we give a feedback. And when we go back to our businesses, we will not forget some of what we've learned here. I'm going to take it up and I'm going to take my team as well to listen on the recording. And we will definitely want to say we'll talk to BABN to have Joy coming back to give us on the same topic or related topic before, because it's very useful to me. I mean, it's one area that we always forget about our existing customers and try to impress those that are coming in at a much higher cost to us. So if there is no more to say, it's 17:26 now. I want to say on behalf of BABN Joy, we thank you very much for your delivery. We should all try to personally contact Joy if you need to follow up on this, and let's support one another's business. I will definitely be in touch, Joy, to talk to you a little bit more, maybe give my team a training on a training day with you. If there is nothing more, we just want to say thank you all as well for taking your weekend off for this, but it's well worth it. I could not have been here if not Efuru's prompted me to be here, but I think it is worthwhile for me to have spent the last 1.5 hours on learning this. So thank you all. All right, and see you all soon on the next webinar. We will soon release the topic for that, and we will all have a wonderful time till then. All right then. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye. Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you, Hassan. Well done. Thank you. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you,
Bye.
bye.